Welcome to Power Code Music. In this presentation, we're going to do a quick overview of the ZOOM R12 multi-track recorder. Continuing the legacy of the popular R20 16-track model, R12 is a scaled-down, minimalistic version which is even more compact and mobile. Users can record, edit, and mix songs either with or without a PC. But the emphasis with this unit is on without a PC. R12 is only the second external digital multi-track recorder released to date with an LCD color touchscreen. This touchscreen is used to cut, copy, loop, and edit tracks. The unit also operates much like its big sister, the R20, with the same basic look and feel. Now, if you're familiar with the R20's functionality, which many of you are by now, then the R12 should be no real mystery to you. Zoom's goal with the R12 appears to be to further press and challenge the laptop DAW market. Now, over the years, I've seen a lot of frustration in that area, and you probably have too, regarding the simplicity and ease of use for musicians with DAW laptops to either quickly record their ideas while on the go or during live performances. As recording musicians, we know that the ability to develop a user-friendly workflow that's familiar, fast, and effective is a big deal. And Zoom is tackling that issue even harder with the R12 unit. R12 retails for $299 new when purchased on Zoom's website currently. In this presentation, we're going to check out the R12's features, technical specifications, front panel controls, and rear panel controls. Let's start with the ZOOM R12's features. R12 is a multi-track digital recorder with a maximum of 8 tracks of recording. The unit includes a 2.4-inch full-color touchscreen for unit operation. Now, the graphical interface, the touchscreen, has onboard track editing that includes cut, copy, and loop functionality. The unit is also battery powered for up to 5 hours using 4 AA batteries, or if you're at home, you can just use the AC adapter and plug it in. The unit also has 2 combo jack inputs with phantom power and high Z on input 1. R12 also includes a send effects channel with 4 options. You got reverb, delay, and chorus. Now, here's the really cool thing with this unit is with the Guitar Labs software application presets, users can choose up to 3 effects from Zoom's guitar effects collection. That includes distortions, modulation effects, spatial effects, and more. So you can update and have a wide variety of effects, and you're not just limited to the ones on the R12. This makes this unit very powerful in this area. R12 also has a built-in compressor that's included for inputs 1 and 2, and the unit has pan and 3-band EQ for each track, which is very cool for a small unit like this. There is a sequence play feature that can be used to create playlists that could be used for things like backing tracks in live settings. R12 has also 150 drum loops that's preloaded into the unit, and it records to SDX cards. R12 also has a built-in USB-C audio interface with control surface functionality, so you have the option of using the unit with a digital audio workstation if you want to. Now, we'll look at the ZOOM R12's technical specifications. Because I get so many questions after these presentations on the unit, what I did is I extracted all of the information I possibly could directly from Zoom to show you here. So all the nerds and everybody who's interested in all of the details, you don't have to go anywhere else to look it up. I put everything I could here for you so that you wouldn't have to go anywhere else to get it. Now with that, Let's start off with the maximum simultaneous recording tracks, which is 2. You can only record 2 tracks at a time. And also, but you can play back 8 tracks simultaneously. With this, we have the recording format specifications and the recording media specifications. You can record to the SD8C and the SDXC cards, both with the ZOOM R12. The R12 also has EQ and pan individually on each track. And here we have your specifications for that. Moving down to effects, we have your input dynamics, which are compressor, limiter, and gate. That is on inputs 1 and 2, what the effects are when you plug in your sources. And we also have your patch memory effects specifications there as well. So your Guitar Lab software application is supported as well to plug in and get additional effects from. It also has dedicated send effects, which are 10 different types of spatial effects along with that. Moving on. R12's inputs and output channel counts are listed here. We have, of course, 2 inputs, and with the outputs we have a master out and phones out. Like when we drill down on the inputs for the connectors, we have combo jacks here, and your input gain, input impedance, phantom power, equivalent input noise, and frequency response specifications there in detail for everyone who's interested. Moving down to the outputs, for the master out, we have, of course, 2 TRS phone connectors which are balanced, and we have your maximum output level and your output impedance, again for all the nerds interested in that. We have the same underneath for the phones. The connector for the phones is 1 stereo 3.5 millimeter mini jack. We have the maximum output level and the output impedance there as well. Next on the R12, we have the tuner specifications. The unit has a built-in tuner for those who want to use it to tune their instruments. We also have a click metronome. We have the time signature and tempo range specs for that. The unit also has built-in rhythm loops, and the sound source format on the R12 is pulse code modulation, PCM, and it has 150 loops. The unit also has an onboard synth, which is a frequency modulation synth with 8 voice polyphony, and it has 18 sounds along with a PCM drum kit, so that is pretty cool as well. The unit also has the LCD touchscreen display, which we talked about previously, and when we move on to the USB information for the technical specifications, the unit has a Type-C USB, and we have the specs for that. Now, R12 can function as an audio interface. So with that, we have the specs for using an iPad, and the unit can function as a mass storage device. We have the specifications for that at USB 2.0 high speed. You can connect your Guitar Lab software application, and we have the spec for that. It's version USB 1.1, and when you're connecting to a DAW and using R12 as a control interface, which is an option, you have your USB 1.1 spec there as well. And R12 can function as a mass storage device, and in that mode it functions at USB 2.0 high speed. Now R12 also has MIDI. You can plug in USB MIDI keyboard, and it functions at version USB 1.1, and we're going to do another video about the R12's MIDI implementation at a later date, but keep in mind R12 does have MIDI. Last but not least is the power specifications. The unit is battery operated and can function in that way, or you can plug in an AC adapter and use it just plugged into the wall. The power consumption specifications are listed along with the unit's dimensions and its weight, including the batteries. Let's look at the R12's front panel controls. First, we have the touchscreen. The R12 touchscreen shows information necessary for operation. You tap and slide on the screen to conduct various operations, including selecting, adjusting, and editing. Next, you have the phone's knob. You use this to adjust the phone's volume. After that, we have the output volume knob. This adjusts, of course, the output volume. Next, we have the balance knob, which doubles as a click switch. When the click switch is set to phones, you use the balance knob to adjust the balance between the master and click signals that are output from the phone's jack, the headphones jack. Moving on, we have the high Z switch. You turn the high Z on and off for input 1 only. You turn this on as necessary for connected guitar or basses, for instance, guitar or basses with passive pickups. Next, we have the input peak indicators or the gain knobs. You use the input gain knobs to adjust the input signals and adjust these so that the peak indicators, of course, do not light. After that, we have the channel, effect, and master faders. Let's start with the channel faders. These adjust the individual track signals in a range from minus to plus 10 decibels. The effect faders adjust the return level of the send effect in a range from minus to plus 10 decibels. The master fader, now this adjusts the signal levels of the master track, which is a stereo mix of individual tracks in a range from minus to plus 10 decibels. Now let's move on to what the ZOOM R12 calls other buttons. First, you're going to have your click. Now this turns the click or metronome on and off. The indicator will always light when it's on. After that, we have the rewind button. Of course, you press to skip back 1 bar on the R12, and you press and hold to search backwards. Next is the fast forward button. You press to skip forward 1 bar using this button, and you press and hold to search forward. After that, of course, we have our stop button, which of course will stop recording and playback, and you press the stop to move the recording and playback position, of course, to the beginning of the project. After that, we have the play button. You press this to start or pause playback of recorded files. The indicator always lights during playback. Last but not least, we have the REC or recording button. Now you press this to, of course, start recording, and the indicator lights during recording, so you always know when you're recording and when you're not. Let's move on to the R12's rear panel controls. We'll start with the input section, which consists of input 2 and input 1. You would use these inputs for connecting things like microphones for lead and backing vocals, drums, and other sources. You can connect condenser and dynamic mics here, but keep in mind that when connecting a condenser microphone, you would need to turn on phantom power first. If you're connecting guitars and basses here, if your guitar or your bass has passive pickups, use input 1 and set high Z to on. If you connect a guitar or bass with active pickups, or through an effect, for example, you would use either input 1 or 2 still, but in this scenario, set the high Z switch to off when connecting to input 1. After that, we have our headphones output, and then finally we have our right and left outputs for things like powered monitors, so you can externally monitor your mix. In summary, in this presentation we have only scratched the surface of how you can use the R12 to record your music. The rest is up to you. R12 appears to use the same preamps as the R20, which are Zoom's best to date. With 2 XLR TRS combo jacks and 8 tracks of audio, R12 is good for recording live performances, demos, and release-ready songs. As we've now seen, R12 also includes a send effects channel with reverb, chorus, and delay, with a dedicated effects return fader. For more advanced tones, users can use presets and effects from Zoom's Guitar Lab software application. with up to 5 hours of operation on 2 AA batteries, R12 allows users to take their productions anywhere they want to and get the job done. Well, that is a wrap. If you like this presentation, please give it the thumbs up and click the subscribe button on your screen now to join our group. We have new presentations coming out every 7 to 14 days, and we would love to have you be a part of our team. Also, leave a comment in the comment section below and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify. While you're here, check out some of the other music, listen to some of the videos, and let us know what you think about that too. Thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you soon.